make sure you've seen part 1 of this series first. This won't make very much sense without it. If you need a refresher, last time I theorized that the monsters could be ruling most of the human world. It explained a lot about the movie, like how the monsters have so much legal information on the humans, how they can get away with terrorizing them for centuries, and I even guessed they might be living on the island of Sicily based on their time zones. But now I need to redirect my attention to how this island came to be populated with monsters in the first place. What really happened in the Mans and Mons? I think first we need to acknowledge that this is an in-universe history lesson, meaning this is what the monsters claim their origin is, so we may need to take it with a grain of salt. The cute pictures and happy music almost seem like they're trying to distract you from the truth. What really happened here? Why was this island enchanted? Who were these tribes? People don't just find magical fruit with no explanation. And I'm sure many of you noticed the connection to, well, every mythology ever. There are hundreds and hundreds of stories of supernatural fruits that unleash curses when eaten. And Pixar references lots of real-life monster folklore.
Just think about a few names, will you? Loch Ness, Bigfoot, the Abominable Snowman.
They use tons of mythologies to base their monsters off of, like how Celia is Medusa. Mythologies are incorporated, and this should be no different. See, Pixar does have a supernatural side to it. We've seen souls, spirits, the literal afterlife in Pixar movies before. This would imply there may be some sort of deity or deities in the Pixar universe, and they could be responsible for this enchanted island. So, while we know certain Pixar movies clearly show the supernatural, I wanted to go over a few examples of what could be supernatural occurrences in their other films as well. Exhibit A, The Good Dinosaur. See, nature itself acts strangely in this movie. It's insane. There are, like, literally multiple Category 5 hurricanes within a week or two. Nature itself is literally the antagonist of the movie. And I may have figured out why. Dinosaurs were supposed to die. The asteroid missed, and they lived much longer than they were supposed to, and nature is trying to correct this mistake. Don't tell me this isn't the case. I'm not the first one to notice this. It's like Earth is trying to get the dinosaurs killed off, like it knows. Actually, wait, let's circle back to this. With the idea of storms behaving strangely, this can bring us to Exhibit B, Up. Right after Carl floats his house away, the sky is clear and beautiful until a storm somehow appears out of nowhere and sends his house flying across the entire planet, and he ends up exactly where he needed to go. No freaking way. I can accept leaps of logic. It's a kid's movie. Carl's house floating with balloons? That's fine. Dogs trained to fly planes with chew toy controllers? Brilliant. But a gigantic storm miraculously appearing, literally sucking Carl into it and spitting him out right above his destination on another continent? Absolutely impossible. This cannot happen. Pixar didn't even need to make it happen this way, but they did. And it would be lazy of me not to overthink it. This storm scene is a lot like Moana, the scene where she goes off to find Maui only to be caught in a storm and wake up right next to him. The exact same type of thing as in Up. And remember, in Moana, the ocean and weather are literally sentient deities, which means something similar could be happening in Up as well. And it definitely is, because of Exhibit C, The Good Dinosaur again. I don't know how I've missed this for so long. There is a storm deity in Pixar. They're mentioned directly. This movie has a cult of storm worshippers.
That's what the storm gave me my name, because what do you say? The storm provides! The storm provides.
This entity is real, and it changed him. Not just mentally, but physically. He's actually a Nyctosaurus, a species that doesn't have claws or teeth in real life. But he does. He was changed. This isn't just a character design choice, don't you see? It's exactly what happened to the monsters. They were made bigger, scarier, given more teeth. What happened to them happened to him. But who is doing this? So, what do we know? It would seem there may be a deity of nature in Pixar who wants to maintain the balance of Earth's ecosystem, who can control chaotic storms, can enchant islands, grow magical fruit, and would create monsters to rule the world with some connection to the island Sicily. These are a lot of very specific characteristics, but what can I do with this information? So I started researching. Surely there's some bit of monster folklore that can tie in. But as I looked through Pixar, I found lots of references to Greek mythology. The Medusa reference most obviously, but quite a few monsters borrow designs from Greek monsters. And there are lots of little hints as well in other movies. The plan to kill the supers in The Incredibles was called Operation Kronos, named after the Greek titan who tried to kill all the Olympians. Edna Mode even has some war of Greek gods on her wall for some reason.
I used to design for gods.
And there are way more references that I'll get to soon once they become relevant. But wouldn't that be just a little interesting if there was a Greek figure who matched a couple of these descriptions? Or maybe someone who matches every single one of them. Are you familiar with Gaia? In Greek mythology, Gaia was believed to be the personification of Earth itself. She created life, plants, and fruit. She is nature. She never rules the world though, but she does have a habit of creating monsters to overthrow the current rulers of Earth. Oh boy. See, when Gaia decided to overthrow the Olympians, she created a son named Typhon, and he's known as the father of all monsters. He was created with the purpose of ruling the cosmos, not unlike the monsters who were created by the Earth itself, the Enchanted Island, and went on to rule the world. Typhon tried to overthrow Olympus, but he was eventually defeated. Then he was banished to the human world and trapped on Sicily. Of the entire world, the father of all monsters is right here, exactly where I guessed the Mons Island to be, based on Monsters Inc. and Luca. Gaia also has control over violent, chaotic weather, just like the insane storms in Up and the Good Dinosaur. This god of monsters was banished to the human world just how modern-day monsters are, and the exact place the god of monsters was defeated, these monsters were born. Very interesting. After the Trojan War, it was believed that the Olympians took a hands-off approach to humanity, and let them govern themselves from now on. Now, this doesn't apply to Gaia though. She's not an Olympian, so she has no decided fate, meaning Pixar could very well decide to use her in a story, such as having her create more monsters to destroy the current rulers. So here's the kicker. This island is enchanted because it has the dead body of the monster god buried beneath it. They inherited his exact abilities. He is hundreds of feet tall. He's made out of snakes. He's a fire breather. He is on Sicily. So who are the Mons? Well, they seem to be whatever primitive tribe first colonized this area. Actually, I wonder who that was. Oh. This is also covered in the Trojan War story, interestingly enough. After the war, a small group of Trojans were believed to have escaped, and they settled in Italy. A small tribe of refugees who were chased to Italy and founded Rome. That's what the Mans and Mons is about! That's the war! That's what we're seeing here! The Mans and Mons is a kid-friendly, in-universe version of a war story for them to show younger monsters. Of course, monsters wouldn't actually hold a grudge against humans for thousands of years because they called them stinky. They were killing them. The Mons, this Trojan refugee tribe, went to Italy and swum to Sicily. Okay, that's funny. That's interesting. Pixar clearly didn't intend for the monsters to be Trojan War veterans or anything like that.
I'm out of ideas. We're closed. Hot air balloon, too expensive. Giant slingshot, too conspicuous. Enormous wooden horse, too Greek.
Oh. Sorry, play that again.
Enormous wooden horse, too Greek.
Did Monsters Inc. just reference the Trojan War for no reason? Did no one think about the implications of designing their monsters after Greek monsters, then having them live exactly where the Greek god of monsters is buried? Did no one question why the main characters reference the exact event that caused people to populate this area in the first place? He also says a wooden horse would be too Greek, implying being Greek would be bad. They know their history. They know their ancestors were once fooled by an enormous wooden horse, which led to them getting chased to Italy, where they built an empire that would rule the world out of revenge. The world on Monsters, Inc.'s wall centered around Italy. I solved the Mans and Mons. No one had any clue what this was about, but I did it. I know what they are. Warriors who survived the Trojan War, and the Earth rewarded them by turning them into monsters so they could take control of a world just handed over to humans. That's their purpose. They're the secret leaders of Earth, the center of it all. Oof, okay, might have got a little far with that one. I thought it was cool. Hey, as far as origin stories go, that's a pretty dang good one. Ignore it completely, take it completely seriously, I don't care. That's about as thorough as I can make my breakdown of the Mans and Mons. So with that out of the way, we can finally see how this plays out with the rest of Pixar, how this all finally fits together, and the future of this timeline, because with this in mind, it becomes a little concerning what they're implying. Stay tuned.